Ever try having a rational conversation online? You make a calm point, you cite a fact, and you get called a fascist, or woke, or brainwashed. These days, it's not the most reasonable voice that wins. It's the loudest, the angriest, the most victimized. Good faith debate is dead, and in its place, something older and more dangerous has taken over. Sophistry. Part 1. What is sophistry? Sophistry goes back to ancient Greece. The sophists were teachers, orators, and professional arguers, but their goal wasn't to find truth. It was to win. They taught people how to manipulate words, twist logic, and sway the crowd, even when the argument was false. And eventually, they weren't just teaching, they were running the show. Sophists became political advisors, speechwriters, philosophers for hire. They helped shape Athenian democracy, and not in a good way. Socrates saw what was happening. He exposed their tricks, challenged their logic, refused to play the game. For that, he was put on trial for corrupting the youth. He was sentenced to death. The sophists had won. And Athens, it spiraled into dysfunction, war, and eventual collapse. When truth loses to performance, civilizations fall. Part 2. The death of good faith debate. In theory, debate is about seeking truth. Today, it's about controlling the frame. You don't clarify, you reframe. You don't explain, you spin. Take the border crisis. One side frames it as a humanitarian emergency. The other calls it an invasion. Same reality. Two narratives. Or fossil fuels. A climate disaster to one camp, an economic necessity to the other. The facts get buried under tribal branding. Framing isn't part of persuasion anymore. It's the whole. And the institutions adapted. Politicians don't lead, they perform. Academics don't question, they entrench. Journalists don't report, they curate outrage. It's not about being right. It's about being untouchable in your frame. Part 3. Why sophistry works. Humans aren't rational calculators. We're emotional, pattern-seeking, tribal. Sophistry hijacks that. It bypasses reason and hits the instincts. And when the lies collapse, no one remembers. The story vanishes after a dozen news cycles. Narrative coherence doesn't matter anymore. Memory is short. Attention is shorter. In a rational world, you'd need consistency. In a sophistic world, you just need clicks. The consequences aren't legal, they're social. Trust disintegrates. Credibility erodes. Institutions rot from the inside. And the lies, they don't have to be convincing. They just have to be loud. Part 4. Why it's civilizationally fatal. Sophistry doesn't just break arguments, it breaks communication. When performance replaces principle, truth becomes subjective, language becomes slippery, trust becomes impossible. And when trust dies, so does everything built on top of it. Governance fails. Markets unravel. Even conversation stops working. If we can't agree on definitions, we can't make decisions. If we don't share a common reality, we can't share anything else. Sophistry is more than noise. It's erosion, and what it leaves behind is collapse. Part 5. Seeing through the fog. Sophistry is a fog machine. It clouds meaning. It manipulates language. It weaponizes words. The danger isn't just in loud arguments. It's in the subtle phrasing of headlines, the way stories are framed, the questions no one is allowed to ask. You don't need to argue back. You need to see clearly. That means going to primary sources, returning to first principles, and asking what's actually being said and what's being smuggled in. And seeing through the fog is how it begins. If this resonates with you, like and subscribe. And in the next episode, we explore a deeper question. What happens when everyone has access to information, but no one knows what to trust? Episode 3, The Illusion of Knowing, when information becomes noise. This is just the beginning. Vault Theory continues.